Favorite K-pop group?
I love Blackpink.
Oh, okay, yeah, they are one of my favorites as well.
Yeah.
So which is your favorite song?
It's a Kill the Love.
Kill This Love.
Kill This
Kill This
Love.
Love. And then there's another one too.
Another one is Toot Toot Toot.
So 13 SEA Games. 13 SEA Games. One favorite city outside of Singapore?
Actually, I do not really have a favorite city because every city that hosted it was incredible.
Right.
They share their culture, they share their experience. But I can tell you that I'm very proud that actually all the cities that hosted a SEA Game actually have a foot in it. Then when I come to 89
Malaysia.
with the KL Games and then the old Merdeka Stadium, so I fought, but this time I got silver, so a notch better. So I thought, hey, not bad, next one maybe gold. But unfortunately 91, it was not meant to be, and I got 4th placing. So it was quite a dark moment in my life because the expectation from me since 87 was to win, right? Win for Singapore, at least a medal, if not gold medal. They were looking at me because I was the best thrower at the time and was a promising athlete. So 91 was the darkest moment. But in 1993 was Singapore hosted the SEA Games. It was even more pressurizing because I came to know the last time we won was only in 1983.
Okay.
When K. Jayamani was doing the marathon and nobody won anything in between. Of course, I tried. I have some bronze, silver, and so on, but nobody won anything. So the pressure was tremendous. I was actually teaching in Nanyang Poly before ITE.
Right.
So some of the students also don't know who I am, but I will usually I will tell them to Google me. I give them the name. Same with IT also. In College West, I'm the PE teacher there. I'm the section head. So students will not know who I am because they probably haven't even born yet. So when I introduce myself, then they were like curious. Joe, you play sports or not? Right? They'll challenge you. And I say, okay, never mind. Hey, I tell you, you Google my name. You want to know who I am, right? You Google my name and you find out. Next week you see me, you tell me I play sports or not. Sometimes most of the time they will Google, then they come back and say, wow, Che, you power, you know. So this is good way to start a conversation. Yeah. And some of them, their parents know who I am. They even tell their kids, say, hey, you know who your sport teacher or not? Hey, legend, no. We know. Then they oh, Che, my parents don't know you. Say, you are really, you know. So the parent generation know who I am. The younger don't, but how I say, I don't really
brag.
Brag. But just to spark off a conversation with them, usually I tell them to Google. They love to Google. They'll track. Then they'll tell me, wow, Che, you do this. Why you quit? You know, the good and the bad news all in Google. You cannot run away. But I always, at the end of the session, I always teach them about life. Right? How to persevere, how to focus, what you want to do, put your effort in it, don't give up, things like that. So that is my direction when I teach sports students.
Hey Singapore, We are at the Kallang Practice Track, which is the home of athletics in Singapore. And today we are speaking to the 10-time SEA Games gold medalist James Wong. And of course, as usual, before we start the hard questions, let's play 2020 with our legends. So James, first question, your favorite sport outside of track and field?
I like all kinds of sports, mainly basketball, American football I also like. So a lot of outdoor sports lah.
Okay. Your favorite cartoon that you watch in your younger days?
I watch a lot of Looney Tunes. One of the favorite is Tweety Bird.
Okay. And you remember the favorite line that Tweety Bird would say?
Mostly she'll say, I thought a putty cat.
I did. Yeah. Favorite Andy Lau or Jackie Chan movie?
Jackie Chan, with the time was a famous called Zui Quan Drunkard Master. Yeah, that kind. Yeah.
I think the 80s. Favorite character from Lord of the Rings?
Actually, I don't follow Lord of the Rings.
Oh, 6 movies. You didn't
Never, because I was myself Lord of the Rings. So
exactly. Yeah, he truly was Lord of the Rings whenever he competed. Favorite type of chocolate?
I like mostly white chocolate.
Okay.
Yeah, white chocolate.
Okay. The least favorite moment in world history?
Any disaster happening around the world is my least favorite moment. Be it now COVID-19 or even tornado or flood or tsunami. It's sad to see all these kind of things happening.
Natural disasters.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite K-pop group?
I love Blackpink.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they are one of my favorites as well.
Yeah.
So which is your favorite song?
It's a Kill the Love.
Okay. Kill This Love.
Kill This Love.
And then there's another one.
Another one is a Toot Toot Toot.
Right. Favorite football club?
Favorite football club. I used to play football when I was younger, so I follow like teams like Everton, Southampton. Yeah.
Wow. And you followed them. I mean, Everton is okay, but Southampton, why?
Yeah, because of the goalkeeper. Because when I was young, I played goalkeeper, so I like that goalkeeper called Neville Southall.
Right.
Yeah.
And he of course became an Everton legend as well. Southall.
Yeah, that's right.
Favorite place in Singapore?
Actually, I love all places in Singapore, especially here in this place where I first fell in love doing my first training, and this is like my second home actually. Yeah.
The Kallang Practice Track.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite James Bond villain?
Jaws.
One of my favorites. I think
Yeah.
Jaws, of course, is the one with the iron teeth.
Yeah, that's right.
He appeared in Moonraker, The Spy Who Loved Me. Yeah. Favorite track and field athlete of all time?
Being a discus thrower, I followed in my early days. I followed East German thrower called Wolfgang Schmidt.
Okay.
Yeah, he was an East German thrower. At the later part, he was defected to West Germany, and then there was some conflict and story about him training when he was East German training with the Americans and all. So the East German did not like that kind of environment because they were worried about spying and so on. So there's a lot of interesting story behind his career. So I kind of admired it. Wolfgang Schmidt. Yeah.
Okay. From international to national, your favorite teammate during your days of competing?
I don't really have a favorite teammate, but during when I was competing at the SEA Games, mostly when I'm done with my games, I usually hop on to another venue to support others. The closest will be always swimming pool and track and field next to each other. Usually I will go to support the water polo and then swimming, jostling and so on. So we were quite close to each other then. Yeah.
Your SEA Games career spans across 25 years from 1987 till 2013. So 13 SEA Games. 13 SEA Games. One favorite city outside of Singapore?
Actually, I do not really have a favorite city because every city that hosted it was incredible.
Right.
They share their culture, they share their experience. But I can tell you that I'm very proud that actually all the cities that hosted a SEA Game actually have a foot in it.
Oh, that's a nice way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Mark Wahlberg. Which one of the four is your favorite Hollywood stars?
I would say Tom Cruise.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always Mission Impossible, Mr. Mission Impossible. So I am also Mission Impossible by winning so many SEA Games goals.
And of course, this year is the return of another of his franchise.
Yeah.
Which one? Which other movie is coming back?
I think a Top Gun, right?
Yeah.
Top Gun, yeah. That would be a cool one.
Yeah, we're all waiting for the sequel after more than 30 years.
Yeah.
Favorite WWE superstar?
Mr. Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with the Hulkster.
Yeah.
Most memorable quote from a sports legend?
I always looked at Michael Jordan because everybody sees him as a very successful athlete who has won many championships. But he always quote that you only see the successful part of him, but nobody knows the failure. He has multiple failure. Nobody knows, but it's a successful thing that knows. So he always say, in order to be successful, you have to fail many times and try a lot of times. Yeah.
For every shot that he makes, every basket that he makes, he has probably missed about maybe 10 earlier, something like that.
Yeah.
And all the hours that they put in that we don't see.
Yeah,
right?
That's right.
Favorite song?
Favorite song? I love Hotel California by the Eagles.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
very soothing. Yeah.
Favorite television show?
I love to see the Survivor.
Which is already more than 40 over seasons now. Over
Yeah,
20 years.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so many, but every season is unpredictable, and you cannot assume this or assume that or what is going to happen. You just go with the flow and see how people react to people
Yeah.
in the kind of situation.
Yeah.
Trust or not trust, or how you want to work with each other.
Yeah, it's one of my top 10 as well. And Jeff Probst, the host, he's been all the way, all 40 over seasons.
Yeah.
Outwit, outplay, outlast.
Yeah.
That's Survivor. Favorite German food, since your wife is from Germany?
When I was in Germany, my first time in '93 actually, before I met my wife, I tasted the pork knuckles.
Ooh.
It's very nice.
Okay. All right, last question. Favorite character from Sesame Street?
I love Cookie Monster.
Cookie.
Yeah, Cookie, and then he'll just munch on the cookie. It's quite funny, I think.
Hey Singapore, we are the Kallang practice track, which is the home of athletics in Singapore. With me is the 10-time SEA Games gold medalist James Wong. 10 gold medals, 9 of them came from the discus throw. James, of course, is known as the Discus King, as well as he is our very own King James. I think maybe LeBron James borrowed the moniker from him. So let's get serious. James, how did you come to be involved in the sport of this discipline, considering that your sports career began way back in 1985 and it spanned all the way till 2013?
Actually, I started playing many other sports way before discus throwing, but happened that we have a sports mate in school. Then I end up, I can't run, I can't jump, so I throw lah. So I throw, and then I didn't win in school, but then it's okay, I accepted it. But during the time, I think the practice track here, there were a lot of people training at the same time, and my brother was also part of our school team training here. He said, hey, there's a group of throwers, there's an American coach here, why don't you come down and try? So that was the time, that was my first time I stepped foot here, that I went to the ring and introduced myself, and then there were about 3 or 4 throwers at the time. Then that was my first time experience here.
Wow, more than 30 over years ago.
Yeah.
Who was your main inspiration in your growing up years?
Actually, I don't really know about track and field. I don't really have an idol. I mentioned earlier I started with soccer. I was looking at the goalkeeper per se. But when I first started in discus throwing, I also don't know what should I throw, how can I throw, or how do I throw. So the American coach was employed then by Singapore Sports Council. I think they have a scheme called the A&W Athletics Scheme. They started that. So this was where he was recruited, and then I kind of fall into the scheme and start to practice. So from there I picked up, and then I know more about discus. That's where Wolfgang Schmidt come into the picture. Yeah.
You studied at Labrador Primary School, and then your secondary school was spent at Pasir Panjang Secondary.
Yeah.
How tall were you in your secondary school days, and what did the other students sort of think that you were a bully because of your height and maybe your size?
Yeah, I was always at least a head taller than the rest. No doubt from primary school onwards all the way secondary school. But in primary school, they call me the friendly giant. So I was not a bully. I was always friendly. You know, my primary school teacher, Mrs. Lim, he always tell me I'm the big, strong, and friendly giant.
Okay, so that was how students and the teachers perceived a young James Wong Tak Yim as a student.
Yeah.
And what were your CCAs?
My CCAs, in primary school, I play softball, right? I play table tennis, I play badminton. So when I move on to secondary school, then I start to pick up volleyball, I picked up basketball, and then I end up doing not bad in football. So our school also won our zone champion, and then we moved on to play at the national level, and I had the honor also to play at the old Jalan Besar Oval Stadium.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
In goal.
In goalkeeper, yeah, as a goalkeeper, yeah.
Okay. In 1985, you were 16, and you entered the national setup. So how did that happen? Were you sort of a talent spotted?
As I mentioned, I came down to train at the end of 1984. So after 3 months, I improved not bad, and then I think they kind of include me into the national setup at that time. And then I was selected to represent my first major competition for Singapore in 1985 in Brunei. It's called the Merdeka Games, hosted by Brunei.
Yes.
Something like the SEA Game, but it's a Merdeka, I think more for celebration of the Brunei royalty or something like that. So I end up competing with the older adults. I mean, older than me, because I was only like what, 16, 15, 16. So I'm still new to the sports, but I do enjoy the games atmosphere, and I learn from it, yeah.
So the Merdeka Games was your international debut,
Yeah.
and you competed in the discus?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was supposed to throw the 1.5 kilo, but because it's a adult game, so I had to throw 2 kilo.
Later on, you pursued your education in the United States. So which course of study did you follow, and which period was this?
I picked up studies in Bachelor of Science in Kinesiology. It's just a study of human movement or sports per se. So it was during in the early 90s when I went abroad after serving my NS, and then from there I kind of enrolled and kind of like sports and easier for me to understand. So that's why I graduated in 95 June with a degree. Yeah.
Okay. 85 was your international debut, 87 was your very first SEA Games, and then 89 and 91, and then in 93 Singapore hosted. But it was only in 93 at home that you won your first gold medal. How did it feel, and was that a load off your back?
Yeah, actually it was very stressful, because when I was younger days, I actually did quite well for my age, and I even broke the national record even at the age of 16 plus and so on. So the pressure was on me to perform in 87, my first SEA Game. But because it was my first game, I'm new to the setup and so on, I only managed to capture a bronze medal, which I think, okay lah, first time bronze, happy lah, learn something. But then when I come to 89,
Malaysia,
with the KL Games, and then the old Merdeka Stadium, so I fought, but this time I got silver, so a notch better. So I thought, hey, not bad, next one maybe gold. But unfortunately 91, it was not meant to be, and I got 4th placing. So it was quite a dark moment in my life, because the expectation from me since 87 was to win, right? Win for Singapore, at least a medal, if not gold medal. They were looking at me because I was the best thrower at the time, and it was a promising athlete. So 91 was the darkest moment. But in 1993 was Singapore hosted the SEA Games. It was even more pressurizing because I came to know the last time we won was only in 1983.
Okay.
When
10
K.
years.
Jayamani was doing the marathon, and nobody won anything in between. Of course, I tried. I have some bronze, silver, and so on, but nobody won anything. So the pressure was tremendous. The pressure is crazy. Yeah.
Okay. So, but finally, at the age of 24, because 16 in 85, 8 years later, in 93, at the age of 24, you won gold.
Yeah.
And that was the start of the gold run, because you won it in 95, and then in 97 in Jakarta, you did the double with the discus as well as the hammer throw. You want to mention about that, winning 2 golds?
Yeah, because when I was training in Singapore, mostly I do only short putt or discus, but I don't really like short putt, so I end up only focusing on discus. Hammer throw was new, but hammer throw was not part of the training here. Hammer throw was always trained outside, where the Kallang Leisure Park, the car park there. The throwers, Gawadi was always training there, never mixed with the other throwers here. So I don't know much what is hammer about, but never picked it up. But when I went overseas for my studies, this is where I have to actually learn all the 3 events from my school setup. So then I started to fall in love with the hammer when I started to throw in the early 90s. So then when I came back to Singapore in 93, they also asked me to throw the hammer, so which I did try. But not as good lah, but I tried, but it's there. But my main focus is still the discus. So as I progressed along after my university years, and then when I went to Germany to train full-time, that's where I picked up a better technique, coaching from the coaches. That's where I did the doubles in 97.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that run continued, that momentum, every SEA Games, gold, 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 gold. You went all the way till 2011, and 10 gold medals later, in 2011 at the age of 42, you told the world, this is it, that's enough. You know, it's time to move on, and you quit. I mean, you retired. This was towards the age of 42. What was the main reason for leaving it all at the age of 42?
Yeah, actually, when I look back in 2011, I look at my SEA Games career and all the host country that hosted the games. I can safely say I've done it all. I've been there, I've seen it. I have a foot on every SEA Games that country that hosted has my name engraved into it. But somehow in 2013, Myanmar came in, and I cannot resist myself because I have not been to Myanmar, and I want my name to be in there. That's why I came out and I want to do it one more time at the age of 44.
So you came out of retirement because you wanted your footprint to be stamped in Myanmar.
Yeah.
So one last dance. What happened?
One last dance, yeah. Because at this age of 44, actually after 35, we are called the masters athlete.
Okay.
But I still surviving at this prime age, right? To continue to throw. So I think it's a blessing that I do not have a major injury, and my technique was quite stable. So I maintained throughout. But in 2013, which I trained, at the same time I was also managing the Singapore athletics, right?
Yes.
But it's not an excuse, but I still have time to train. But it's very tiring at a 44-year-old person with this body. I need a longer time to recover. But I still managed to throw over 50 meters at this age. So I'm very happy that even though I didn't win, but as an old guy competing with the young kids out there, I'm giving them for the run of the money. It's not like it's a walk in the park, it's old guy.
Yeah.
But they were very cautious of me. So I think I earned their respect then.
You were showing how it's done.
At that age, yeah.
At that age, yeah.
So hopefully they will be at their age to still throwing.
Exactly. But nonetheless, a tremendous achievement and record and a streak, you know, from 1987 all the way to 2013. That's 13 SEA Games. You did miss one campaign in 2007 in Korat.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, 13 times you competed regionally, and a total haul of 10 gold, 4 silver, and 2 bronze medals. So Any regrets about leaving the sport at almost at the age of 45?
I always have this mentality. Whatever you do, bad things, good things, you learn, but don't have regret, because it's all about learning in your life as you move along. So I competed throughout except 2007. Just to share with you a little bit secret, my opponent, who always lost to me, thanked me for not competing in 2007, so he got a chance to win. So he actually thanked me, he said, James, thank you very much, come, I win. So I'm very happy that
he won.
He won, yeah, he won. So it's not that I don't want to compete, but at that time I felt it's enough lah. But somehow I still have this sport in my blood that I think I still can throw. Even now, you ask me, can I train? I say can. I still can throw. Not as far, but I still can give a lot of guys a run for the money. But I won't think I will throw my best.
Sure.
But this age of 52, I think my body throw one time needs 10 days of recovery, you know. So it takes time, yeah.
Okay. Talking about time, the fact that your record that was set in 1997 at the SEA Games, 54.08 meters, you broke the record then. 2 years later, in 99, you set a new games record at the mark of 59.50. That mark till today is still standing, which is already more than, so that means it's almost 25 years since you set the new record. You know, if you take 1997 into context. So how do you feel about the fact that your records are still standing more than a quarter of a century? Yeah,
of course, personally, every athletes come into these sports, they always want to break their personal best, their personal record. If you achieve that, it's a good contribution, because whatever blood, sweat and tears every day you come down here, you achieve your best, you're happy. For me, I was also trying to win the medal at a young age, right? Gold medal. Then after winning, I said I want to go for the record. Before 54.08 in 97, the record was only 52.10. So I think it's still possible, because I've been training quite good. So I believe I could break the record in 97 games, which I did. So I was very happy. But then, of course, after that, do I stop there? No, I want to improve further. Since the record is there, somebody can break it, no problem. But if nobody break it, I want to break it myself. So in 1999, I came back in Brunei Games, and I throw 59.50. So I think I was way ahead of a lot of throwers in our region. So that's why it withstand until now. There is a Malaysian who is trying to beat the record, but it's not easy to throw far in a stadium setting. In an outdoor setting, I think he has surpassed 60 meters. But in a game setting, it's a different ball game. It's all about mentality, about confidence, you know, and put everything in a context on that day in the enclosed stadium, which has no wind, no nothing. It's all about your ability.
Okay. But despite your legendary performances at the SEA Games level, the name James Wong is still missing at the Asian level, as in the Asian Games, because unfortunately you didn't get to compete at any of the Asian Games over your more than 20-year career.
Yeah.
What were the main reasons?
In the early 1990s, when I was nominated for the 1990s Beijing Asian Game, I decided to opt out because I want to pursue my studies overseas. And at the time I was going to America, so I decided to say I want to focus more on my studies.
Put on hold.
Yeah, put on hold.
The games.
So I didn't want. But come back to 94, which I did quite well for 93 SEA Game, right? And then they nominated me again to the games. But that time I had a knee surgery, so I also decided to put on hold, and I was not so that fit, so I didn't wanted to come back for the Asian Game. So this was two attempts. So then come back to 98, which I also did not attempt because I was based in Germany at the time, and I want to focus very hard on the discus, but the season was not match up, so I did not want to come back. Then come to 2002 was the Busan Game, which after 2001 I actually stopped because I was working and I didn't want to train full time at the moment.
Right.
So I didn't attempt it. But I attempted again in 2006.
Doha.
Doha Asian Games.
Yeah.
So Doha Asian Games, I attempted. I even had a plan. I even had a plan for this Asian game, and I went even back to my old place in Germany to train for a few months under my coach. So I throwed there about 56.04, right? So it was not bad, but the qualifying mark was 56.50. So I was about half a meter away only. But somehow I think my name was not nominated by the association to be endorsed, so I was not at the games. But nevertheless, I always put it, I try.
Yeah.
So I have no regrets. Life goes on, I'm still be happy.
So there was 5 missed opportunities at the Asian Games, and it seems that dubious streak also, sort of carried over into the Olympics because you missed out on the Olympics as well.
Yeah. In 1996, Atlanta Games, it was a 100-year Jubilee celebration. 3 athletes were nominated for the Atlanta Games based on our 1995 performances.
SEA Games.
Yeah. So Yvonne Denson for marathon, the lady, and Wong Yutong for the high jump, and myself for the discus.
Right.
So I remembered the association nominated 3 names, was endorsed, was selected, and I also know there's also marketing products was ongoing with McDonald's.
Yes.
And whenever you eat a tray, they have the paper, right? And we even have all our nominated Olympic athletes there. I vividly remember I was there, and I also had a poster too at home. But somehow at the 11th hour, they say only 2 can go. 1 best male and 1 female for wildcard entry. So they decided to drop me. The association decided to pull my name out. So I say it's okay. I'm okay with it. But besides Olympic, I also competed in World Championships. Yeah.
Yes. You didn't compete in 1. You didn't compete in 2. You competed in 3 World Championships.
Yeah.
This was of course in the 90s. What's your best memory of the World Champs?
Yeah, I competed in the 91 Tokyo World Championship, 93 Stuttgart, and 95 Gothenburg World Championship for athletics. So it's actually quite on par like the Olympic standard. Good memories there because the level of competitiveness, the level of athletes competing, you see them train, you see them eat, you see them sleep, you see them party, everything is very high level.
Yeah.
So you learn from all this. I have a privilege to at least learn from 3 major games with these athletes, and I managed to took a picture with Wolfgang Schmidt in one of the 93 games. I met him outside of the stadium. Yeah, I still had the picture. So I'm very happy to know quite a few good throwers there. Yeah.
I bet you if you were competing at the same time as Usain Bolt, you'll be attending one of his parties as well.
I'm sure you'll be inviting me. actually, there's one in 95 Gothenburg Games after the competition over. So we went out to party, right? So I was in the dance floor dancing all, happily. And then I bumped into a long jumper called Ivan Pedroso, a very famous Cuban long jumper. He was jumping like 8 meter, 50 or 60, small little guy, and I'm dancing. I bump him and say, "Oi!" So it was all fun. Even though he's there, I'm here, but it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's take a step away from your athletics career and the fact that you joined the Singapore Athletics Association as a general manager. This, I believe, was about 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
That stint was for about 2 years. Maybe you want to mention 1 or 2 major accomplishments during your time as general manager of SAA.
Yeah, at that time we came into the association. We want to have a good setup, create good, transparent policy, so that everybody who joined track and field, who wants to qualify, had the opportunity to had a run to meet the mark and so on. So everything was spelled out clearly, and we even have incentive proposal, not only for the athletes, but we also give incentive to the coaches. If your athletes do well, you also get rewarded. If you have 2 athletes, you get double rewarded. So it makes the coach wants to work harder. It makes the athlete wants to work harder as well, because they know that they get allowances. Even not much, but at least there is some for them out there. So there is something for them to look forward to.
Okay. So after your work was completed, I believe about 2 years later, in 2014, you decided to leave the SAA. Was there a major reason you stepped away from the association?
Yeah, at the time there were a lot of issues happening, so I decided to focus my energy to other things rather than continuing what I love. So I have to give up, but I do not want to spend too much unnecessary energy to do something that I felt is not worthy to at that point. So I decided to leave the association and let whoever wants to govern, please go ahead. Hopefully they will do a better job than us or myself.
Okay. Is there 1 or 2 defining moments in your sports career that you would like to share with us on SG Sports Legends?
I think the most defining moment will be in '93 when I first won the gold medal, because that sparks the whole whatever legendary thing you call or whatever historical moment, and everything was at that point. So that moment on, when I won, you see light at the tunnel, and you see light at the, not for me but for the sports, and sports council at that time was like, wow, we have a winner, we want more. So they put more money to invest in athletics. They employ more coaches. They give you a nice stadium to train, and so on and so on. So there's a lot of support going on, not only for myself but for the sports in general. So after that, for me, I also have so much opportunity. I managed to continue to train in Germany and continue to grow and continue to improve. So I was happy and honored at that time to have opened up the floodgate.
And of course, I think one more honor that you can add to this list of achievements is
2010. Yeah, 2010 was another special moment for my sporting career or sporting moment in life, where we hosted the first Youth Olympic Games, right? I've never been to Olympic Games. I've never really been to Asian Games, but SEA Games, but as an athlete. But now I'm an administrator, so it's a different thing. But I have to wear different hat.
The chef de mission.
Yeah, I was nominated to be the chef de mission. So I have to look at how best we can support our athletes, not just in training but competition. Make sure everybody plays fair, win fair, and learn from it. So because it's a journey that they have to go through. Yeah.
All right, James, let's talk about your 18-year-old son, Jordan. And he's a national volleyballer who made his debut at the SEA Games 2 years ago in Manila in 2019. The question is, why did he decide to take up volleyball and not follow in your footsteps as a track and field athlete?
Actually, at a young age, he was exposed to discus throwing. When I train, I also bring him down. He also liked to throw a few with the smaller discus. Not bad, but somehow in his primary school days, he joined the volleyball team, right? So he didn't throw, he tried to run, he tried to throw shot put, but not very successful. But I leave it up to whether he loves the sports or not. So I think he loved volleyball much more than track and field. It's okay for us, me and my wife, it's okay. So we supported him in volleyball in primary school. So when he moved to secondary school, he continued to play volleyball for Geylang Methodist Secondary. So he did progress from Sec 1, Sec 2, and then he was getting much better than a lot of youngsters. And he was talent spotted by the Volleyball Association to join the national setup. So from there, I think he was competing with the older boys. Because in school he was much better than the school players. He was taller, he was also stronger, he was developing very well. So he was called up. So we are happy that he was representing Singapore in his first game in Manila. So we are very happy for him.
Congrats on that. So Jordan is a national volleyballer. You also have a daughter. Her name is Jessica. So with both parents as former athletes, did Jessica take up sports as well?
Jessica is a different breed, just don't like sports. So it's okay. I mean, as parents, we have given them the genes. It's up to them to use it. If they don't use it, nothing we can do. So one is using it very well, the other one just turn it off. But we don't force them, but I think most important is they must get their education through and have their own life.
Okay. Yeah. You and your wife, Yana, have been together more than 25 years now. What is the secret to, being together?
I think the secret is give and take. It's not a smooth journey. This whole 25 years since I met her, everything was nice. Then of course there were ups and downs, But we give and take in our marriage life, and then we try to accommodate each other as much as we can, and then we just live through it.
Is there a special thing that the two of you like to do?
Certain things I like to do, I like to eat, she don't like to eat so much. And certain things she like to eat, I don't like. But it's okay. But we respect each other likes and dislike. We give each other space and so on. But I think one thing in common we love is actually sports. So when Jordan competes, we actually book ticket and we fly there and support him. So in the preparation for the SEA Game, so we actually fly to Taiwan to see him play, right? We also support him, and we fly to I fly to Manila also to see him play before the pre-SEA Game and so on. So actually we go to a few places with him, so he knows that we are there with him. Although he a bit shy, the one, hey Jordan, your father here, he's shy. But it's okay. But I think for us, we are normal. We just want to see how well he coped the pressure, because he was a young kid, and how best he can learn from other people, because they were much bigger and stronger players. So now, does he learn from this experience and become better as he grow older?
Remains to be seen.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, James, coming back to track and field. So you left the scene in 2013. It's almost more than 8 years. Do you see anyone today trying to step up to reach your level from Singapore?
I think many athletes still compete and throw in Singapore. You can see here there's also throwers, people who love to throw. But it's not easy to throw far, because you need a lot of commitment, a lot of time, a lot of development and so on. So it's not easy. A lot of athletes come and go and so on. I see some potential one, but they couldn't last long because they have other interests along the way. So for me, when I was younger, I only have one interest to throw, and people supported me, pushed me all the way. Then I just go with it. But now, if you ask someone who comes in and throw, they will train for 1-2 years. After that, there's no support. They have to find other means, right, to survive, and they will drop the sports and go on. So it's tough to find someone to take over my ring. It's not easy now, because most of the throwers in our region has improved quite high, and we are still not there yet. So in order to be a good, decent Southeast Asian region thrower, you need to throw about 50 to 52 meter. So now we are still about 46, 48 meter, close, but of course you need to put in the effort. It takes time again. Yeah.
You're presently teaching at ITE College West. Do your students or even your faculty members know of your accomplishments or your records?
Yeah, I was actually teaching in Nanyang Poly before ITE.
Right.
So some of the students also don't know who I am, but I will usually I will tell them to Google me. I give them the name. Same with IT also. In College West, I'm the PE teacher there. I'm the section head. So student will not know who I am because they probably haven't even born yet. So when I introduce myself, then they were like curious. Joe, you play sports or not? Right? They'll challenge you. And I say, okay, never mind. Hey, I tell you, you Google my name. You want to know who I am, right? You Google my name and you find out. Next week you see me, you tell me I play sports or not. Sometimes most of the time they will Google, then they come back and say, wow, Joe, you power. You know, so this is good way to start a conversation. Yeah. And some of them, their parents know who I am. They even tell their kids, say, hey, you know who your sport teacher or not? He legend, no. We know. Oh, then they oh, sure, my parents don't know you. Say, you are really, you know. So the parent generation know who I am. The younger don't. But how I say, I don't really
brag.
Yeah, brag. But just to spark off a conversation with them, usually I tell them to Google. They love to Google. They'll track. Then they'll tell me, oh, sure, you do this. Why you quit? You know, the good and the bad news all in Google. You cannot run away. But I always, at the end of the session, I always teach them about life. Right? How to persevere, how to focus, what you want to do, put your effort in it. Don't give up, things like that. So that is my direction when I teach sports to them.
It's great stuff. Could you name 2 qualities that a top professional track and field athlete should have?
The first is the love for the sports. Any sports, if you love what you do, you will put a lot of effort to it, right? And you will come down 24/7 here, rain or shine, because you love it. You want it. It's in you. So that is the first quality. Second one is commitment. You have to commit. You love it, but you don't commit, it doesn't work. You have to commit by pushing yourself very hard if you want to go to the next level. Love is one, just to start. Commitment is the second one. You need to keep pushing and getting the result.
You are 52 this year. Do you still have any milestones or goals that you're hoping to achieve?
Whatever I want to achieve in sports, I think I have tried my best. Like I say, I have no regrets in life. I've tried, and this is the level I am. It's okay. I enjoy it. If it's a SEA game, it's a SEA game. If it's Olympic, it's Olympic. Doesn't matter. But I have done all what I can for the sports of discus, meaning to throw as far as I can, humanly can. Because I also don't know how far I can throw when I first picked up. So I train, I push, I get injured, I come back, I train, I push. That's the best I can do. So I don't really have any regrets. So I have done what I can for this sports.
Would you like to say a few words to the people who supported you in your sports career across almost 30 years?
Yeah, I think one important things that I want to mention is that I don't do these sports alone, because I can throw, but without the support of my sponsors or people around me, I wouldn't have achieved what I want to achieve. So they are more important in my life. My sponsor earlier on, Nuke Plus 4, Lotto, then come in Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, and so on. These are my sports apparel sponsor. And then you have sports council, you have people who donate money, who wants me to succeed, Singapore Pools, all this big help. Without this, am I able to achieve? Probably not, maybe at this level, but because there is support, the support is very important. Without support, no athletes can travel this journey alone. So supporters, sponsors, they are very critical to any athlete's success. So to them, I thank.
And what is your message to the fans and Singaporeans who still know you today as the Discus King or King James?
To my fans out there, sometimes I see them when I walk, they'll say, hey, you. No, don't worry, just come say hi to me. I don't pretend, no, I'm not, no. I will say hi to you, want to take a photo, let's do it, no problem. But most important is, I hope my sporting career, my journey, has also sparked something in your life that you have also improve on in your qualities of life. So you pick up something, you learn, and you get better. So to them, thank you very much for supporting me and understanding my journey. Yeah, good and bad is part of life, so we move.
An international sports career that spans almost 30 years. You competed in 13 Southeast Asian Games. You brought home 16 medals, 10 of them were gold. You competed in 3 World Championships in the 1990s. Your SEA Games records are still standing after 25 years. James Wong, you truly are a Singapore sports legend. Thank you very much for your service.
Thank you, Raj. Thank you for having me. Thank you.